Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, welcome back to the car, welcome back to Cornwall, and welcome back to summer. It is sunny. It is very sunny today, which is a little bit weird because today was forecast for storms. Right about now, we should be having torrential downpours, thunder and lightning. There should be blood raining from the sky, stair rods and dogs and cats and everything just hitting us from above. And yet, that's not what's going on, because apparently the county as a whole managed to slalom around the storms, because that's what we do. The rest of the country, though, is underwater, which is good for them. I mean, bad for them. I mean, I'm indifferent, to be honest. But it is interesting because we have had something like the 4 hottest days on record last week, and I was just like, oh, that's not so much of a good thing. The world is definitely warming up. And I thought, well, for a top tip, for anyone happened to be sat at home going, ooh, me buns are on fire. I mean, which king was that? King Alfred the Great? Was he the king that set the buns on fire? I think he was. Was that in Wantage in the United Kingdom? In England? I think it was Wantage, I think it was Alfred the Great, and I think buns were definitely on fire. And what Alfred and everyone else who thought the weather's a little bit warm could have probably done with is a tippity top tip, because most people, especially in the United Kingdom, have a washing up bowl. A bowl which you put in the sink. And I was asked the other day, hey, why do we have washing up bowls when you can just fill the sink up with water? And I'm like, my dude, because if you have something the size of, say, a Belfast sink, or if you have just a regular stainless steel sink, they take a lot of water. And also, stainless steel is going to wick the heat away very quickly. So you put a washing up bowl made of plastic into your sink, and it keeps the water warmer, and you use less water. That's why you use a washing up bowl. And it's also kinder on your crockery, your plates and your cups. If you're throwing them into a sink that is made of ceramic on ceramic is going to cause, well, breakages and chipping. So a washing up bowl is something most people will have. And if you don't want to use a washing up bowl for what I'm about to describe next, then you can go to the local supermarché and just buy one. They're like $2 or something. Yeah, if you are too hot, get a washing up bowl, either from the kitchen or le supermarché, and fill it with cold water, throw some ice cubes in there and pop your feet in there. And yes, if you've done it right, it'll be like stepping into a swimming pool, an outdoor swimming pool for the first time. You'll go, ooh, that's a little chilly, isn't it? But here's the theory. You are, as a human being, as warm as your feet are. So in the winter, when you're going to bed and you're like, oh, I can't get to sleep because I'm freezing cold, well, chances are your feet are cold, so you need a hot water bottle to warm them up. In the summer, the same is true, but in reverse. You're just too hot. You're too hot. So what you do is you cool your feet down, and if your feet are cold, the rest of you is going to be cold. It's a good theory, and one that I put into practice. So yesterday I was just like, ooh, I have recorded, what did I record? I recorded some videos for the channel. I recorded 2 hours of Disco Elysium, and then I recorded a Stranded Deep video, and I was just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go and wash the car now. So I washed the car, and then I did all the laundry, and I was like, I'm so hot. It is incredibly hot. I've just done all this busy work and all this other work, and now the computer is rendering stuff. Ooh, and the summer is here. So I just filled up the washing up bowl, the one that I got from the supermarché, not the one that I use for dishes, and I threw some ice in there, and I was just like, that's a little chilly on the old toes, but everything cooled down, and I was like, this is neat. So my top tip, make a little paddling pool of cold water for your feet, pop your feet in them, and it'll help your body reduce temperature. And at the very worst, it'll act like a giant heat sink. So even if the water's not exactly cool anymore, because a lot of blood flows through your feet, you will remove heat from your body that way. So I was like, yes, this is great. As a little top tip for everyone, and something that I've put into practice, and I can say with hand on heart, it does work. Absolutely. So, why is the world hot? We took lead out of petrol. Surely that should have cooled things down and fixed the hole in the ozone layer and everything. Well, lead in petrol wasn't a problem for the planet per se. It was definitely a problem for us. I mean, yes, sure, we had acid rain from industrial off-gassing and various bits and pieces, but lead in petrol, and if you're a person who remembers your mum filling up the car with 4-star was leaded petrol. And it's not like they took a bar of lead and dropped it into the gasoline and went, that'll do. It was lead tetraethyl. And I know this because every time I have a conversation with my father, he says, no, what's the actual chemical compound? And I'm like, lead tetraethyl, Dad. Right. I mean, if we ever talk about other psychedelic compounds, it's never LSD, it's always lysergic acid diethyl. Because Dad is just like that. That's what happens when you have a father who happens to got his doctorate in chemistry. Although it was fluid dynamics, so I don't know about that one. Anyway, so lead tetraethyl. And that is a problem for humans because lead is indistinguishable from calcium in the human body, and calcium is used for your bones. So what's the problem with having lead for bones? Well, it makes them soft and noodly. But wait, there's more. Lead can also be used on your nerve endings because that's what the body uses calcium for. Calcium conducts electricity, lead not so much. So you have a problem with lead coating your nerve endings in your old brain instead of calcium. You have a problem with thinking. And that was a big issue while everyone was using 4-star. Not so much the holes in the ozone layer, but violent crime going up. In fact, violent crime levels were very high. And then the world switched to unleaded fuel, which is the green pump at a petrol station, which is why it's green. And then the world was like, oh, okay, cool, violent crime is dropping. And that's how those two were related. Anything else to do with fuel and the world heating up? I don't know. Boy, I'm driving a hybrid. We have the hybrid system on the thing. It's very fuel efficient, but I'm still conscious that it uses petrol and it creates carbon dioxide, which is the problem. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is a greenhouse gas. It blankets the planet and it doesn't allow the heat to escape in the form of infrared radiation into space, which is normally how things are cooled down. Your body, for example, is a dark light body. So you create light. You're like a light bulb. A dark light body, but I can't see in the dark. My body doesn't radiate light like a lighthouse, like a beacon, like a flame. Well, it does. You just can't see it. You radiate infrared radiation, which is on the visible, well, it's on the light spectrum. Not the visible light spectrum, but the light spectrum. And you can see it if you hold up an infrared detector or if you use a night vision scope, I think. Oh boy, there's an Arctic truck ahead of us. That's a big old truck. I'm hoping he's going to stay stopped. He is not. We'll pull in here and see what happens. It might get a bit beepy. It will. We can turn that off. Cool. I was worried about the tourists, which is why we've come the back way. The town is absolutely rammo with tourists at the moment. I might put a little clip at the end of the video just to show you how bad it actually is. But yeah, the back roads are pretty spicy too. Oh, don't worry about the parking sensor. That comes on automatically again after 12 miles an hour. It's just a breaker. It doesn't like switch. It just interrupts. An interrupter. There you go. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, your body gets rid of heat in form of infrared radiation. And that's basically how the planet gets rid of heat as well. You can get rid of it through evaporation, and that'll be things like sweating. So you put your body's energy into warming up the sweat, and then the sweat just evaporates off of you, taking some of the heat with you, but most of it is infrared radiation, and you'll feel that most during the winter when it's cold and you feel all the energy getting sucked out of you, which is not the good kind of getting sucked out of you, but the bad kind. So that's a thing. But yeah, greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, that's a bit of a problem. Cars, yeah, I mean, yeah, cows, yeah. Methane is another very potent greenhouse gas, and that blankets the planet. Other greenhouse gases, I mean, there are, but we're getting into the weeds at that point. Let's do this. Let's take this junction. We're okay. Hopefully these lads on push bikes are going to go straight ahead. They are, which means we don't have to try and overtake them all. Slow to a stop. So yeah, 4 hot days. I mean, what's the solution? I don't think there is a solution. We've built our lives around the car and around heavy industry. It would take a whole sea change in humanity to really just look at this problem as a whole and go, yeah, we're going to make some big changes here. We're going to switch everything over to nuclear energy. I mean, that would be a good step in the right direction. We're going to crack nuclear fusion. I mean, the lads over at Culham Jet Laboratories in Oxfordshire have been trying to crack nuclear fusion for the last 30 years, 40 years. They were always 20 years away. I think it's about 40 years now, and they're only 10 years away from succeeding. Nuclear fusion is one of those science fiction things that a bunch of spaceships use. The Enterprise uses fusion to use its sublight drives, which is kind of cool. We're going to slow all the way down here. This guy knows what's going on. Yeah, when they redid this level crossing, they really did a number on it. Cool. I think what they did is probably relayed the tracks, and then the people doing the road was just like, oh, you can't have that. But that's the way it is. Yeah, there is no good answer. So for the time being, the world is going to get hot, and you're going to have to find ways of dealing with it. Ice cream is okay. I mean, if you're going to have ice cream, it has to be Cornetto. What do you want from the corner shop? Cornetto? Yeah, Cornetto, that's pretty decent, and the facsimiles, supermarket-owned facsimiles, are pretty nice as well. But yeah, popping your feet in a bucket of water, as long as your tootsies actually fit in the tube, then yeah, sit in your garden, sit on your balcony, sit in your living room, sit out in public. It doesn't really matter as long as you're ankle deep in some sort of water, then that's good. Can you use any other medium? I guess you could. I wouldn't go for dry ice because your skin will fall off along with the rest of your feet. I wouldn't go for regular ice either. Float it in the water, fine. You could try margaritas. I mean, the largest chemical component is still water anyway, but yeah. Pina colada. I mean, if you like pina coladas, yeah, that would work. All manner of cocktails. We're just taking this junction. I'm in my mind, I know this is a fast junction, so let us not collide with anything. Get to a point where we can see those signs are in a bad position, but we'll go straight across. Excellent. Sand. Oh yeah, you could probably cool sand down and then have that around your feet. Cool sand is a legit option because you can heat sand up, and sand will store hot and cold for a very long time. Legitimately used as a energy battery is hot sand. So you can heat sand up for a while, keep it in a silo, and that hot sand can then be used with a interchange? The word is slipping from me. But yeah, a heat exchanger to take the heat out of the hot sand and then warm things like a central heating system. I've seen that been done before. So there are some fun things that we could do, but not right now. as far as the channel goes, because that was a huge thing that we talked about. As far as the channel goes, yeah, I did all the things that I said I wouldn't do. So we've done some tutorials. We've been doing some tutorials. I did some tutorials for Star Citizen because I was playing the game. It's in alpha. I was playing it last night and it disconnected the server and I lost a bunch of stuff. But if you can get over that, it's a very good game, like a very good game. I came from Elite Dangerous and I got frustrated with Elite Dangerous because the graphics engine was just not behaving well, it wasn't good, anti-aliasing is bad in Elite Dangerous, and the gameplay loops are kind of grindy and they got a bit boring. So when I went to Star Citizen, I found that having things like the minutiae, like being able to open doors with buttons and having to eat and drink, those are all very good little things that they've added to the game, and as a whole the game is actually quite promising and it's quite fun to play at the moment, even if it is an alpha and even if things kind of bug out now and again. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So we did a tutorial for Star Citizen, even though I said I don't do tutorials on the channel, and then I've been doing an island building tutorial in Stranded Deep, which I think we're at the point where we need to go big or go home. So I'm gonna have to do something big in that. We've just looked at it. There is a bug in the game at the moment which is not being addressed by the developers and has been there since the game went to 1.0, which is the terrain is kind of lumpy bumpy even if you smooth it off, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. So yeah, that's kind of been an interesting one. And then I put 2 videos of the same type up yesterday, Friday and Saturday, and I'm like, I don't normally do that, but we've been putting so much stuff out, or I've been putting so much stuff out, that it's become a little bit tricky to get everything out of the door and still go to work and have a life. So yeah, I still work 8 hours a day. I come home, I might go to the supermarket, I might get dinner and do all the stuff, and then I've still got to do the channel on top of that. So yeah, we're putting out half-hour videos 6 days a week, 5-6 days a week. That's like, oh man, it's like 200 and something, 250, 300 hours of video every year. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. But I mean, while it's fun, I'll do it. And Disco Elysium. I'm loving Disco Elysium. I'm absolutely loving. That is going to be my game of games. It is so good. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. It's just been amazing. And I recorded it yesterday. I'm just so happy with our progress because we're only on day 2 and we've done so much stuff in the game. So if you want 2-hour videos of a game, if you've been missing that in your life, then yeah, Disco Elysium, hand on heart, wholly recommend it. It's on the front page at the moment. So yeah, and if you want something completely different, Star Citizen. Good, I think we've covered everything we need to do. I'm gonna go and stick my feet in some water because it is pretty warm, surprisingly warm for a day that should have just been torrential rain and thunderstorms. Good, and we're just dodging the traffic, holiday traffic. So I'm going to leave it there. If you like this, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you want notifications, dingle the bingle. If you don't want notifications, don't click the bell. And I'll tell you what, we've not been driving fast. That's just a wide angle camera. We're doing less than the speed limit pretty much all the time. It's just, you're watching at 180 degrees. So it looks like we're going faster than we are. And that's just a little side note, as I say, I'll catch you next time. Now this is what tourist season looks like. All of the people coming down and just getting stuck in town. Down in town.